Hello friends, welcome back, and if you're new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how we can make this beautiful crochet pattern, and I will be using two different kinds of yarn and my hook size is 2.5 mm. Starting off with a magic ring. Once the magic ring is done, let us chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. And now into the magic ring we are going to work 2 number of double crochet. That's the first, followed by the second. So a chain of 3 and 2 double crochet has been worked. Now let us chain 3 and work another set of 3 double crochet. That's the first one. This is the second, followed by the third. Let's chain 3 again and let's work the third batch of 3 double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second and the third. Now let's chain 3 again. Let's pull the tail of the magic ring to tighten our circle, and then let's work 3 number of double crochet. This is the second, followed by the third. After that, let's pull the tail. Yes, that is how it is done. And now a chain of 3 is done, and we are going to complete this round by working a slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. If you remember, we had worked the chain of 3, and into the topmost chain we are going to slip stitch. Now this particular round is done. Now I am going to skip 2 chain spaces, and the reason is because we need to reach the corner space. This is how we skip chain spaces, and finally I've reached the corner where I am going to chain 3, which should be counted as 1 double crochet again. After the chain of 3 is done, I'm going to work 2 double crochet, so that makes a total of 3 double crochet counting the chain of 3. Now let us chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. And into the same space we are going to work a set of 3 double crochet. Now this is a beautiful crochet pattern which can be used for almost any of your projects like cushion covers, throws, blankets, anything. Now let's hop into the next corner space and work 3 double crochet. Chain 3, 3 double crochet again. So that's done. Now in the similar fashion we are going to work, and here I am working my 4th corner. 3 double crochet, chain 3 is done. Now working the final set of 3 double crochet, so that too is done. Now let's slip stitch into the topmost chain, and then we are going to skip 2 chain spaces again to reach the corner space. Once we reach the corner, we are not going to complete our stitch. We are just going to keep it there with 2 stitches on the hook. And now I'm going to introduce my new yarn by pulling the new yarn through the 2 stitches. So here my blue yarn becomes the working yarn. So here it is done. Now let us chain 3 as we have been doing in the corners. Slightly we need to pull our old yarn, that is the yellow one, so that the new stitches fall right into place. Once the chain of 3 is done, let us work 2 double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second double crochet. Now let us chain 3. We have to check the yarn at the back. So chain 3 is done. Now into the same corner space, let us work 3 double crochet. That's the second. We are going to take our yellow yarn along. So that's the third one, but it has to be an incomplete one because we are going to change color. When we need to change color, we are not going to complete the stitch. We are going to keep 2 stitches on the hook and pass the required yarn through it. So the yellow yarn becomes our working yarn. Once that is done, into the gap between the corners, we are going to work 3 double crochet with the yellow yarn. That's the second, followed by the third, which should be an incomplete one, 2 stitches on the hook. That is because we need to change our yarn color to blue again. Now we are going to pass the blue yarn through the 2 stitches. So the blue yarn becomes our working yarn. Now let's work the corner, which is very easy, working 3 double crochet. Please carry the yellow yarn along at the back side. That's the second double crochet, followed by the third. Let's chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and work 3 double crochet again. That's the first, followed by the second double crochet and the third, which has to be an incomplete one. The reason is because we need to change the yarn color to yellow. 2 stitches on the hook, pull the yellow yarn through it, so the yellow yarn becomes a working yarn. Now into this space we are going to work 3 double crochet. That's the first, followed by the second and the third, which is an incomplete one again because we need to change our yarn color to blue. Now the blue yarn is passed through the 2 stitches. The blue yarn becomes our working yarn. So let's work our third corner, working 3 double crochet, chain 3. That's the second, followed by the third. Now let's chain 3 and work 3 double crochet. This is the first one, followed by the second double crochet, and the third has to be an incomplete one. We are going to stop right there and change our yarn color to yellow. Now in the space there in the middle, we are going to work 3 number of double crochet. That's the first, followed by the second and the third, which is an incomplete one again. We are going to stop there. Let's change our yarn color to blue. So the blue color has become our working yarn, and now let's work the corner by working 3 double crochet. That's the second, followed by the third. Now let us chain 3 and work 3 double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second and the third. Third one has to be an incomplete one. 2 stitches on the hook. Let's change our yarn color to yellow. And finally we are going to work our last batch of 3 double crochet. That's the first, followed by the second and that's the third one. It's done. So right now this is how our pattern is looking. Once 3 double crochet is done, let us slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. We are going to stop there. Now let's change our yarn color to blue So that's done. Now let's skip 2 chain spaces as the first, followed by the second, and we are going to reach the corner. Once the corner is reached, let us chain 3, and here we are going to work 2 double crochet again, and the corners have to be worked in the same manner as we have been doing. 3 double crochet, done, chain of 3, and again 3 double crochet. That's the third one. Once done, let us hop into this gap and work a set of 3 double crochet. Now let's snip off our yellow yarn as it is no more required. So let's continue this round. Now into the next space there between the corner and the middle, there we are going to work another batch of 3 double crochet. So that is done. Now into the corner space, we all know what is to be done. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Now this is a beautiful crochet design that I have shown, and I have shown the steps very slowly and have repeated it numerous times so that it becomes easy for all to follow the pattern. You should use this pattern for your future projects. It can be cushion covers, throws, baby blankets, anything. Now let's work our batches of 3 double crochet. That's the first batch. So that's done. Now let's hop into the next space where we are going to work 3 double crochet again. That's the first, followed by the second and the third. See, this is how it is looking. So I've completed working all around and have reached the starting point. Let's work our final batch of 3 double crochet before we end this round. That's the second, followed by the third double crochet. See how easy it is to work the pattern. It's all done. Now let's slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. And now I am going to skip 2 chain spaces and then reach the corner to work the chain of 3, followed by 2 double crochet. Let's chain 3 and work 3 number of double crochet again, and that's our corner, which has been constant throughout. We have worked the same stitches. Now into the next gap we are going to work 3 double crochet. Once you work the pattern, you'll understand where we need to work the 3 double crochets. That's in the tiny gap between the 2 sets of 3 double crochet of the previous round. Now into the next tiny gap, let's work our 3 double crochet. So that too is done. Now into our second corner, we are going to work 3 double crochet. That's the first, followed by the second and the third. Now let us chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and work 3 double crochet again. That's the first, followed by the second and the third. Now into those tiny gaps we are going to work our batches of 3 double crochet. That's the second, followed by the third. Into the next gap we are going to do the same, and I'm going to catch up with you once I complete the round and I am near the starting point. So here I am. So one more gap is left where we need to work 3 double crochet. Let us do that. That's the first one, followed by the second and the third double crochet. Now we are going to slip stitch into the topmost chain or the very first chain of 3. So here it is done. After that, I'm going to chain 1 to secure my work. Let's snip off the yarn and tuck the loose ends. So here it is. This is how it looks. What a beautiful crochet pattern it is. Look at that. And yet so very easy to work. You can use different colored yarns as I have done here. Then you'll get a colorful one, or you can use the same colored yarns for all your squares. So thank you my friends for staying till the end. If you all have liked the video, do give a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family members. If you are new to our channel, do consider subscribing and stay tuned for interesting videos. So till we meet again, it's bye for today.